his date so he could pick up his little sister. I'm a single father, 43 male to two children. Max 17, Liza 8 female. I usually have Liza in after school clubs, so I'm able to pick her up after work. However, last evening I was given some work that had me working overtime. I did my best to negotiate out of it, but my manager told me that the assignment was to be completed by that night, so I just did it. It was nearing towards 6 p.m. I just knew I wouldn't be able to make it to Liza, so I called Max and asked him to pick her up. He responded by saying he couldn't because he was on a date with his girlfriend for their 6-month anniversary. I told him that I understood, but I really needed him to get Liza and that I'd make it up to him for interrupting. He just angrily turned off the phone, and I thought that while he was mad, he just decided to pick her up. 30 minutes later, I received a call from Liza's school on where I was because the school was closing down and no one was there. Luckily, one of Liza's friend's mothers said they'll drop her off, and that was all good. However, I don't really like it when Liza goes with that particular parent, not because of the friend, but because of the mother. She has this habit of asking math questions in the car that she knows Liza is unable to answer, and then criticizes her over it. It was all just very mean. I called Max and asked him where he was and that he was in big trouble when he got home. He just told me that he was busy and to leave him the hell alone. He came home around 9 p.m. I told him he was grounded and that he was not allowed to use the car for a good 3 weeks. At that he got all mad and said it wasn't his fault. I was failing as a parent, unable to afford someone to collect Liza. Just want some insight on the situation. Was I being harsh and the a-hole for interrupting his date? Edit. This is the third time I've asked Max to pick up his sister in the span of a year and a half. Some people are asking why I don't have a nanny. Money is tight. Max and Liza's mother is not present in their lives. And no, I did not think of socializing myself with parents at Liza's school. I'm at work most of the time, so I haven't found the time outside of the yearly parent meeting. Please refrain from insulting my son. Okay, I'll take the bullet here, not the a-hole. You're not failing as a parent, you had to work overtime. Not out drinking and effing off. Your son was in the wrong here for not helping, turning the phone off and calling you out for it. But you two need to talk this out and discuss expectations. If you expect him to be a part of the contingency plan, there needs to be a crystal clear on that. And what happens to the car privy when he doesn't? Dad offered to make it up to him. The whole thing probably would have taken half an hour that evening. The kid was willing to leave his sister sitting on the curb with no ride. He tells his dad he's failing as a parent. He's failing as a brother. Sure, you get pissed that your dad interrupts your date, grumble the whole way to school, drop your sister off at home, and then resume the date. Girlfriend has been around for 6 months. She got to know the situation. Bro should do as his dad asks because there was no other option. But he turns off his phone and ignores his dad. If I were the girlfriend, I'd have said, go get your sister, and what the hell is wrong with you? As for the punishment, I'd have grounded his ass too for a month and taken the car permanently. See how cool he looks taking his girl on dates on the bus. NTA. Context matters here in those types of situations. A parent that uses their oldest kid as a free babysitter and always babysitter with no regards for their time will be told that. A single parent that has an unexpected work emergency that acts a total of 3 times in a year according to the edit, asking their kids who they let borrow the car to pick up the sister won't be met with the same backlash. Am I the a-hole for refusing to pay for a dress that my bridesmaid ripped in the store? I, 25 female and getting married. My future husband John has no siblings, 1 aunt, and only 1 first cousin, Casey, 23 female. So John asked me to include her in the wedding. I told all 3 bridesmaids that I'll pay for their dresses. At the appointment, the girls picked a few dresses from the display models up front. The sales associate explained that she would go to the back and pull the ready-to-try dresses, and that it was going to be 1 to 2 sizes up, and this is normal for formal wear. The plan was for them to head to the changing area, and then when they had a dress, they'd come out as a group to show me. John's mother and aunt and Casey's mother pulled me to look at the bridal accessories. So this part is secondhand for my bridesmaid. The associate brought dresses into the dressing area, and Casey was irritated that she fell into the plus line, which started at a size 18. Both on principle and because two of the dresses apparently weren't available in plus size to try on, she argued and refused to try on anything above a 14. But the associate warned her not to go below a 16. Casey has always squeezed herself into tight-fitting clothing and is very focused, in her words, unfair and misleading sizes between brands, refusing to see that in reality she's about a size 18 or 20. So 22 to 24 in formal wear. While I was on the other side of the store, I saw Casey walk quickly out and grab a dress off a mannequin, but I didn't think too much of it. However, the sales associate pulled me to the side and told me that the charge was $250 for a dress that would be added to my bill, since I was taking care of everything. When I went to talk to Casey, I found her struggling to zip it too small dress, and the size 14 dress was the one that she grabbed and hanging up and had burst open on the side. I told Casey politely but firmly that I wasn't going to pay for a damaged dress and that she would need to cover the cost herself, to which she insisted that it was my job to do it. We went back and forth unproductively as John's mother and aunt came back over. And one of the other bridesmaids told me that the sales associate had strongly cautioned against trying smaller dresses. Casey attempted to start another argument about sizing, and I cut her off. I told her that there was no way in hell she's a size 14. I don't care if she believes it out in the real world, but for the purposes of this trip, my wedding, I needed her to accept that. Casey angrily went back into her dressing room and refused to come out, and her mother told me to just pay the $250 since Casey was still an apprentice at a hair salon and didn't make that much money. My bridesmaid backed me up, but Casey's aunt, and to a certain extent John's mother, essentially said that Casey wouldn't be there around these dresses in the first place if it wasn't for me. Casey's mom ultimately paid for the damaged dress, but am I the a-hole? NTA, you offered to pay for the dresses, not what they damage. Her irresponsibility is not your responsibility. I'd kick her out as a bridesmaid at this point. She sounds like she's going to cause more trouble before the wedding is done. I had a friend like that in college. We went clothes shopping because she needed a dress for an interview. She claimed she was a size 10, but she barely got them on her hips. She was much closer to a 16, but I tried to be accommodating and grabbed a 12 like she asked, which almost came up, but no way it was able to come close. Mind you, I'm a size 16, so it wasn't like I was making fun of her. But I suggested maybe a 14. She pitched a fit. It was like, there's no way in hell I'm a 14. I almost snapped back, but I bit my tongue and just suggested another store. Funnily enough, she went back the next day alone and bought them in a size 16. I actually felt so bad for her that she thought I was judging her size. I hope the last few years of promoting body positivity has helped her accept that she looks just fine.